In this video, we'll go over how to do kind of the opposite of what we did in the last video. We will take a document that we've created in Photoshop and then bring it over into Illustrator so that we can start to type on it. Oftentimes, if I'm designing posters, or in this case, invitation, I will start in Photoshop to get that background down, and I've merged together a lot of different layers that I've created here, and then created a kind of a analogous colored background, and then I want to put text here to create an invitation. And this would, something like this would count towards your poster with text and then images as well. If you feel more comfortable in Photoshop, you can do a lot of the image creation in Photoshop and then move it to Illustrator. So first I want to see how large this is, image size, and it's 10 by 14 and it's 300 pixels per inch. So I'm just going to record that, 10 inches wide by 14 inches tall and 300. And we'll want to know that so we can create an Illustrator document that's about the same size. I'll say OK. I want to know where I've saved this. I know that I've saved it in my desktop and on in a folder. So I'll bring up Illustrator, say File, New, and I'll call this Wedding Invite Profile. I want my profile to be custom so that I can manipulate the height and the width to match my Photoshop document. So that was 10 inches wide by 14 inches tall. We want to make sure our unit is in inches, not in points or picas or anything like that. So let's see here. I don't want a bleed on this for now. I did previously, but not for this demonstration. So 10, 14, and Illustrator, the default is 300 ppi. You can see it down here, as well as color mode is CMYK. So that's why in Photoshop I wanted to make sure that it was 300 ppi. Say OK. And I have a blank Illustrator document. Now I'll go File, Place, and then I will find my invitation. I'll say Place. Pardon me while my computer lags. There we go. And here we go. Click and drag this up into the corners, and I see it's exactly the size of my document, which is what I wanted. Now, I don't really want to do anything else with this layer. As far as like blending photographs goes, that should be done in Photoshop. I'm going to lock this right here and click New Layer, and then I can begin using all of my different kinds of type knowledge. I'm going to create an invisible box here to place text in. I can use all of my type knowledge to create a poster with a lot of different options. So let's see here. Type. Click there with the circle. Choose a font. You have to be careful when you're running both of these programs at once. It has a tendency, Photoshop and Illustrator both have a tendency to lag. So we'll start here. Think about what you've read about font combinations. Oftentimes people combine serifs with sans serif, so fonts with feet and hat with fonts with, in this case, no feet and hat. You can do further research on that if you'd like. There's a lot of information on blogs and the internet about people's aesthetic choice when it comes to font. I can highlight this, and I want to choose a fill color that I see somewhere in my piece to create visual unity. Oops, see. Get off of that. All right. And then you can just keep working. A cool thing about going between Photoshop and Illustrator, let's say I wanted to make a change with this. Let's say, oh my gosh, now that I think about it, I want this leaf pattern to be down here as well. But I can only do that in Photoshop. You can bring Photoshop back copy this layer, move it,
Dante Biondo to the main office. Dante Biondo
do my
to the main
edits
office.
here, double click, let that transform. Bring this up into Illustrator, and then it will recognize that change. Okay?
I do it this class, right?
I know, that's how my day is too.
Please come
Hi,
to the Blue House
Charlie.
office. Terry Jordan, Aubrey Robinson, Ellis Ross,
Hello,
Chelsea
ladies.
Whitmore-Woodpool, and Zach Miller. Blue
How are
House
you?
office, please.
Good.